Momentous doesn't even begin to cut it. The Bangladesh flag flies high as they register arguably their proudest moment of cricket history in Rawalpindi. Bangladesh 2-0 winners in Pakistan, their first ever Test series win against Pakistan. It's such a historic occasion in Bangladesh cricket, and we're joined by a man who's been part of so many historic moments in the past as he shares his pride on this special occasion. Thank you so much, Tamim Iqbal, for your company. Congratulations to you for having witnessed as a Bangladesh cricketer such a special moment. How do you begin to describe the events and the magnitude of this victory?
I think it's immense. I think this has been the biggest achievement in Test cricket for Bangladesh for sure. And the way the team played was something is phenomenal, basically, because if you see the first innings, Pakistan was 480 odd. Then the way Bangladesh came back with the bat, and then the way they bowled, in the both the innings, we all know how Rawalpindi's wickets are. They are pretty good for batting, but Bangladesh's fast bowlers were unbelievable. I think it's a great moment for Bangladesh cricket, and especially when we were 23 for 6, and to come out from that position and winning the match is something that people will remember for a long time.
Yes, two standout features of this series win and the second test, and you've hinted at both. Let's dive further on both because you look at both the games, and it felt like a different story unfolding at, say, the end of day two or halfway through the game. 448 for six. Most often, when teams declare at that kind of a score, they go on to win, but Bangladesh win that test by 10 wickets. Then to be 26 for 6 after giving up 280, you felt like this test was going. That sense of character to come from behind in an away test, not something we've seen too much of over the years.
Yeah, definitely. And if I be really honest, I think toss played a very big part in this test match, because if you see the first test, it was raining and all, and then Bangladesh chose to bowl first, where Pakistan batted in the probably the toughest conditions. Similar thing happened in the second test as well. I think toss played a very important part. It was a great toss to win, and then the way Bangladesh played, toss is important, but it's not everything. I think all the small moments Bangladesh have won. I must say something that people sometimes forget when you have such a big victory. The small things, I think when the ODIs and the T20 players were busy playing the T20 World Cup, a majority of the Bangladesh Test team players were training under Tigers. Tigers is something that Bangladesh has newly launched. Bangladesh Cricket Board has newly launched under Tigers guidance. The Test players and the national players get prepared for series, and I think they had, I think, more than a month and a half camp where all Mushfiqs and Mominuls were part of that. Mehdi was part of that. I think a lot of credit must go to local coaches because they were in charge for a month and a half long camps. I think that played a big part, because when you win, it's easy to credit this and that, but people forget the small things, and I think this was very important to this success.
There were contributions across the board in these two games. Almost all facets, almost all individuals have contributed at some point or the other. But it is those two new quicks who we have to spend some time on. Hassan Mahmood, Nahid Rana, between them, all of four tests of experience coming into the second game in Rawalpindi, and just turning the tide of the test, and which also meant the series with those bursts of pace and energy on day four. Two questions for you. Did you ever think you will see a day in a subcontinental test where two Bangladeshi pacers will be all over an opposition? And secondly, do these two together form the sweetest part or the biggest gain from this series win?
I think it's massive for Bangladesh fast bowling unit. I've been telling this from the T20 World Cup. The fast bowlers has been bowling quite well. Mind you, Taskin probably didn't pick up many wickets, but he was also very accurate and very nice. And especially, I was after the first Test match, I was not sure that Nahid Rana will play or not, because if Shoriful didn't get injured, probably Nahid Rana, we won't see Nahid Rana in the second Test. But I think with his raw pace, we all saw he troubled the best of the best from Pakistan team. And the best part of Hassan was he knows his limitation. He didn't try to do anything different, just ball line to line, and then got the rewards, And um it's something that I think the fast bowlers will cherish, because this is a wicket where plenty of runs has been scored in the past, and where Pakistani fast bowlers didn't get that much what Bangladeshi fast bowlers did. And I think this is something that the fast bowling unit should be proud of. And definitely the coaches in the past should get a lot of credit. Alan Donald, Otis Gibson. I think these are the guys who have worked extremely hard with the fast bowling unit to come this far.
This emergence of a pace pack, it smells like something special brewing. Could this be the difference in Bangladesh leveling up across formats in the international game?
See, for Bangladesh, getting a good fast bowling attack will make batsmen's life much easier, because normally when we tour overseas, we get a lot of grass to play on. So now I think with the quality that Bangladeshi fast bowlers are showing, the opposition will double think what kind of wicket they're going to prepare against us. Because in the past, we knew we were too much dependent on spinners, and we didn't have great fast bowling attack, so they used to prepare green wickets, and then our life becomes really hard, So now the batsmen will take a breath. I think they'll get much more better wickets when we are touring away.
Speaking of the batters, do want a word on Liton Das, a special innings to aid the recovery, 26 for 6, and he's part of the reason Bangladesh got to 260. And it almost seems like this is the only way he makes test centuries. When he comes into bat with Bangladesh in absolute trouble, it's a given that Liton Das will do the job.
I think number six position is something that it suits him a lot. This is what I've been seeing in the test matches. This is not a only innings that he has played well. I think if you go back 3, 4 years, you will see plenty of similar innings that he has done for Bangladesh, and mostly on difficult occasions. Saying about Liton Das, I think the way he batted, the composure that he showed, he never looked out of control. Every time, whatever he was trying to do, he did it pretty well. But we also not forget Mehdi Miraz's contribution, because when Bangladesh were 26 for 6, he was the one who counter-attacked basically to Pakistani bowlers. And then the things started to change. Their bowling started to feel a little bit of pressure. I think a lot of credit must go to these two boys. I think they deserve a lot of applause from around the world.
All right, so Tamim, just factoring all things together, everything cricket wise, the performances, how well rounded Bangladesh were, the positions from which they came back in both tests. But to that, you add the context of just the tough state of affairs in the country, and that might have its own bearing on the players as they made the trip. Put all these together, does it constitute Bangladesh's most special ever victory in international cricket?
Definitely in test matches, for sure. I think the history that we have, we don't have much success, to be very honest, but this is one thing that will be surely remembered for a long, long time. And especially Bangladesh as a nation is going through a lot, but this victory will unite the nations as usual, But I've always told this, cricket unites Bangladesh, cricket unites the world, I think. And I think this victory will give a lot of happiness to the people who has seen some tough times recently. And I think with the boys to have that kind of mentality and to go there in Pakistan and play the way they played, they also need to get a lot of credit and a lot of clapping.